for those of you tuning in, I do want to thank you guys for tuning in, and thank the chat for contributing to a bit of feedback as well. There will be the VOD for this. It will be up on Twitch on my channel. I'll save it. I might put it on YouTube as well, potentially, and then hopefully we can get some more feedback that way. And then Shinkari can review it on his own.
Yeah. So I am on Twitch. If you guys would like to follow me, www. Oh,
Zirene.
Hello there. So I didn't tell you this, but I did message Zirene really quickly when we started. Like, hey man, like you don't have to come in here, like just really quick. Like I know your time is like hella important. Like you don't have to. Like, but if you could like come in for like 2 seconds and give me and my friend like some pointers, that'd be dope. That's it.
Hi, Zirene.
Yeah, hi. How's it going?
Apologies for being like starstruck for a second. Hello. Wow, that caught me off guard. Hi. The YouTube video will be on my rarely used YouTube channel. I will gladly give you a link for that, Zirene, and chat. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, I don't have a YouTube command. I'm sorry. I know I need to clean some stuff up. So that is the channel link for the YouTube channel that I upload my stream highlights and VODs and things of that nature to. I don't really have much in the way of casting on there currently. There's mostly just like wacky stream highlights from the solo queue stuff. But yeah, sorry, Vados. I will get the bot up and running again, and I'll start to clean that kind of stuff up in the future. I'm just getting back into streaming as well from a bit of a hiatus, so I need to clean that up. But I appreciate your time and interest in checking us out, Zirene. That is very much appreciated. And if you were able to provide feedback and just any sort of criticism or critique or attention to it, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you for stopping by. That's very appreciated. And thank you, Shinkari, for telling him about it. That's fantastic. That's awesome.
It was a huge shot in the dark. I didn't think that was gonna happen.
I mean, I never thought in my lifetime I would see Zirene in my chat. So that is, I mean, that's insane. Yeah. So, wow, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for everyone else in chat who, of course, tuned in and stopped by and listened. You know,
it was a great bunch of clown fiestas that we had a great time casting. Every single one of them.
Hopefully we will do a couple more of these. Thanks, Zirene. I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Zirene, if you're interested, I know you are obviously a busy guy and a lot of people, you know, want your attention. But I do plan on doing a couple more of these practice sessions, hopefully soon. Shinkari and I are mainly preparing for a tournament being hosted at the Fanime convention towards the end of May, so that's the main event we're getting ready for. But that being said, I would like to turn this casting practice and you know, casting solo queue games maybe more of a regular thing. So if you're interested, Zirene, I would be glad to you know, let you know ahead of time. You know, maybe, you know, I don't know if you want to DM me or I could DM you. You know, if you're interested, I'd be you know, more than happy to let you know next time we're going to do something like this. You know, I understand you have a lot of other things going on for you, but I do appreciate you tuning in at all. That's incredible. So, yeah, that's a cool way to. Sorry, I'm slightly starstruck. I'm a little. I'm thankfully not speechless, but okay. Shikari, any final thoughts or?
You can follow my stream at www.twitch.tv/Shinkari.
Yes, I meant to link that.
I'm also on Twitter on @ShinkariAlex. I recently got Twitter famous for a dumb cat meme. So
that's good.
No big deal. But I do actually have to head out now. So thanks for having me. Thanks for the practice. We should do this again in the future. Like totally, 100%. I enjoyed this a whole lot.
Yeah, this was a ton of fun. Are my alerts working? I don't. Zirene, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. I don't think my alerts are working, so I can't hype that up as much as I want to. There it is! Zirene is now following. Thank you very much. Never something I ever thought I would say in my life. You just made my night. I'm so sorry to, like, just be all giddy and starstruck right now, but that this is a cool moment. I'm sorry, this is really cool.
Yay!
Thank you guys so much. Shinkari, thank you. Zirene, thank you. Vatos, thank you for hanging out and modding as always. Fangirling a little bit, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think I could indulge a little bit. Feedback is always interesting. At the end of the day, your process is yours. I've heard some feedback I disagree with, but if it works for the individual, then it works. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And I love those types of discussions as well, where you can sort of qualify feedback, because especially with something like this, when it comes to caster tone and preference. Yes, exactly. It is an art. It's a craft. There are some basics and some standards. Absolutely. I agree. But yeah, having your own style is important, and being able to kind of filter all that feedback and weigh that against your own style is is that feedback valid to my style, or is this person just wanting me to imitate a different caster? It's I love those types of discussions, and they're always very interesting. I love talking about those types of things. All right, Shikari, you are welcome to go. If
I'm out of here.
Thank you. No, you're good, man. You're good. Thank you very much. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. We need to do this again in the future.
We absolutely will. Yeah, I'll message you.
All right. See you later, man.
See you, man. Thank you.
Bye.
But yeah, I completely agree that having those discussions about, is the feedback relevant to you individually and your style, or is it just them trying to get you to, do they want me to imitate Zirene? Do they want me to imitate, Freak or something? Or is it an actual flaw that needs to be worked on, And there are certain things that are more objective criticism, such as if I mess up an ability name doing play-by-play, if I mess up a champion name or something like that, if I accidentally say the wrong player name or something like that. Those are objective flaws that can be worked on, and that attention to detail can be worked on. Or things like enunciating more clearly, or not talking too quickly to not be understood. But other things like, just certain levels of hype, or there's the infamous, caster bias conversations where, one team is having a very dominant game, but it sounds like the casters are hyping up the losing team a little too much. And, it's not necessarily the whole picture, because telling those stories about the team dynamics, especially when you have consistent team stories, such as in the pro scene, it's less relevant for smaller amateur tournaments and less relevant for, individual plays. Like today, we were just casting over some solo queue games, right? But those things are not necessarily actual. The feedback is of course important to listen to, but it's not actual. It's not an actual flaw per se, So I love having those discussions. Sorry, rambled on about that for a little bit. Why solo queue games? It was just something for us that was easy for us to spectate people on our friends list, and just an easy thing for us to cast. In the future, we might try to schedule like maybe some customs, some 5v5s, or something along those lines to spectate. I know I've seen some other casters, up-and-coming casters, mute pro VODs, like pro game VODs, and cast over those, which could be a good avenue of practice as well. I should maybe look into that. My concern, just my slight insecurity personally, is that my pro scene knowledge can be lacking at times. So, being able to compare the history of certain teams and trends among regions is an area that I'm lacking in, and it's something I do really need to work on. So I feel like I would potentially let down a commentary of a pro game as a result of that. But that being said, it's still a good area to practice, so that might be something to do. I will absolutely be watching finals. Yes, I did watch both semifinal games. You aren't casting the game for everyone, you're practicing for yourself. Very true. Very good point. So, looking into other avenues of things to spectate and practice with would be a good bit of advice. I think the solo queue games, you will always recommend casting over a VOD from regional reasons. Yeah, I'm down to hear it. I will say that I was pretty rusty going into the practice session today. This is my first time casting in a little while, just due to being busy with a lot of other things. So this definitely felt like a good warm-up session. But I'm starting to see your reasoning for the regional VODs as a different avenue. So reason 1, analysts actually get to analyze the game and forecast what will happen. Yep, completely agree there. 2, if you mess up or you don't know what to talk about, you can look at that spot, then unmute the VOD and look at how the pro did it. So you have a direct comparison. That is a fantastic point that I did not consider. And on that note, that ties back into what you were saying about the casting practice is more for yourself, not necessarily casting for others as practice, which is what I was effectively doing today. I wasn't casting as much for that type of personal practice. It was sort of I'm casting as if I'm casting a live event, and then afterwards discussing the feedback. But I do like that idea of having the mid-game comparison that you can look to and immediately compare. It's a good point. And point number 3, the number one thing that amateur casters lack is narrative and storytelling ability. Absolutely agree there. Because they don't cast a league that goes on every week. You can talk about what happened before, what could happen next game. Rivalries, etc. Amateurs talk about what they know, which is abilities, character interactions, and these things at the pro level are actually on the lower side of importance. Yep. Excuse me, absolutely agree. And that is kind of a weird thing as far as, for me personally, it's a bit of a weird debate because while I do completely agree with you that the narrative and storytelling are very important for, and probably higher on the level of importance for the pro scene when you have those ongoing storylines and those ongoing, those ongoing scenes. When it comes to specifically casting local events and local tournaments, one of the stark differences is that's just not available at all. So yeah, I guess I have admittedly tailored my casting to be more in line with amateur scenes and more in line with, I guess, what I deemed was more useful for the in-the-moment casting. But being able to start practicing it on VODs, like you're suggesting, I think would be a great way for me to start getting more prepared to take it to the next level, potentially. Being able to tell the story of the players, humanize them, and allow fans to get closer to them is a lot of what commentary is about in a league setting. Yeah, it's not available. You can do it on VODs. If you feel like that's what you want to do, of course, it's a great skill. Yeah, exactly. But that is I do really appreciate this advice. Not just because it's like, oh, it's a pro caster giving me advice. This is very specific, tailored advice, because effectively what Zirene is saying here, what you're saying is that this is a specific direction to begin tailoring the casting practice in the future towards more professional experience, so that if hypothetically I begin to move towards professional casting at some point, right, then I have that foundation of beginning to understand storylines and beginning to and yeah, like you're saying, that is what a common trend that amateur casters lack, and I completely agree. And it's a specifically what I want to say is that this is a more specific avenue of practice as opposed to just cast more and hope you get better. This is a good thing to focus on specifically, and it's a specific thing to work on. Because I could cast 1,000 solo queue games and constantly get better at memorizing ability names and memorizing, and being able to cast fights and do some basic color commentary all I want. But I could do that for years, and that would not help me get to that professional level of being able to tell those storylines and being able to humanize players, as you're saying. which is a huge part of the professional casting scene. So yeah, I completely agree. That's a great, that is a great avenue for specific practice. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Zirene. Again, I appreciate you just being here at all, but that is some very specific, constructive, and very focused advice, you know? And that's what I really appreciate about it. That is fantastic. Wow. Wow. Still a little awestruck. I apologize. Oh man. What a cool moment. What a cool moment. You were one of the first for League to do the amateur to pro jump, and you spent a lot of time asking questions that no one could answer on the differences. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, I still remember back when you were fairly new. It's exciting. Of course, I think the most recent example that a lot of people point to is Captain Flowers, of course, having moved up in the ranks. You know, he started off doing mostly what I'm doing now, but of course he did take it to the next level. And Zirene trained Flowers. Yeah, perfect. And it pays off. I mean, because look, I mean, if you see, you know, Reddit threads now, there's a lot of praise for Flowers now. I mean, I don't think there's a single bad caster currently. But that being said, Flowers especially has been getting a lot of recent praise. You know, there's of course the Rap God memes. But even his storytelling has drastically improved. And that's something that I don't focus on enough, and that's something that I should begin to start tailoring my practice towards going forward. Yeah, that's fantastic. Flowers is naturally talented. When I first worked with him, I told him he's going to be the best play-by-play out of any esport. That is heavy. That is impressive. And he absolutely is, though. I mean, the guy is insane. I think he started, and it's so funny too, because I might be wrong. Sometimes you get raised and trained for a job that didn't exist at the time. Yeah, no kidding. I believe a lot of his early casting experience in the amateur scene was with there was a subreddit community. I think it was House Party 5v5, and I think he was one of the casters there for a while, and then transitioned into Riot. And it's so funny because I kind of just like side-eye watched that scene sort of rise and fall and didn't do anything about it, and I should have gotten involved. Not saying that I would have the same results, but, you know, it's just kind of funny that I kind of ignored that and let that happen without really doing anything about it. I'm still happy with what I have done so far, though, as far as casting some local tournaments and things like that. But I do appreciate this advice to start giving me the ability to go towards some more focused practice. His diction is perfect, his accent accentuates his words, and his intensity is natural. He walks around with lightning in his blood. Yeah, that's an intense way to phrase it, yeah. But I would completely agree. He is a fantastic play-by-play. I do have to say, I do like Freak style a lot as well, though, as far as play-by-play goes. I do really enjoy Freak's play-by-play quite a bit. Oh, Vado's got a new sub. Awesome. So I learned this back when I studied theater and Shakespearean literature. Here, I'm gonna remove the little casting thing there and put the chat up on the screen. Flowers is the only person who does this effectively, and he did it without knowing. Okay. He makes words sound like what they are. Okay. Makes beautiful sound beautiful. makes shoot sound like shoot, like that intensity. Yeah, I could see what you're saying there. And I know I'm not doing that right now, but makes down sound like down. Yeah, okay. I get what you're saying. I'm doing a very... In reading this, I'm doing a very, like, poor basic job of showing that, but might have to study some Flowers clips a bit more and catch up on that. Eviscerate will sound like an evisceration. Yeah, really sharp enunciation for that, yeah. He makes everything onomatopoetic. He paints with his words. That is in physicality, yeah. Very true. Very, very true. He is the best right now, IMO. I would be hard pressed to disagree with you if I wanted to. I think he absolutely is possibly the best play-by-play. Yeah. Straight up play-by-play, yeah. I would agree. I would agree. Admittedly, I need to do a better job of my awareness and my knowledge of other regions and other esports. But yeah, Flowers is incredible. Dude was rapping for fun as he grew up. He was training himself for a job that didn't exist by luck. Yeah, I cannot even say a half of that, you know, for myself. So I just had a... The only thing I guess by comparison, I talk fast naturally, but that's about it. And yeah, absolutely, the potential's there for anybody, right? I mean, that's the important lesson. It's by doing more constructed practice, as you suggested, by casting regional VODs as opposed to just solo queue games. You know, it's those types of things that help us get to that point, even if by comparison, you know, maybe we're not as naturally talented as, say, somebody like Captain Flowers, you know. And even then, I wouldn't say that, you know, because I don't want to take away from Captain Flowers' accomplishments, right? Like, it's not, I wouldn't say so much that he's more naturally talented. Like you said, he was rapping for fun growing up. Like, that was indirectly practice. But as you were saying, he was training himself for a job that did not exist yet. Or that he didn't know would exist just yet. Which is, you know, an incredible coincidence that you could still fall into something you're passionate about like that. Yeah. But specifically, I do really appreciate the advice of more constructive and more focused practice. If you want to make the argument that talent doesn't exist, I understand you can be shaped by your nurture and have a strong nature. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a little bit what I was going for, in all fairness. Not entirely. I do think there is a certain degree of natural talent for people. For me, it's just more of I want to appreciate the hard work that people put into and not, you know, dismiss it as, well, they were lucky because they were born that way or something along those lines. Hard work is the great equalizer. Absolutely, yeah. But also for myself, it's just as personal development for myself, it's something I've focused on recently, is trying to appreciate hard work, both of myself and others, more, you know. One, to give myself an easier time for when I make mistakes and when I am learning something new, to not be hard on myself for not doing it perfectly right off the bat and not giving up and assuming that it's not for me or that I'm not talented at it, because, you know, you can potentially learn to do better and practice it more, whatever that thing may be. I've always hated the term since it does have a connotation that undercuts hard work, at least in my opinion. Yeah, that's kind of the point I was going for there. I agree. That's kind of the idea there, you know. Yeah. Yo, Zirene, I appreciate that so much, man. Thank you so much for stopping by and following and just chatting and the advice and everything. I greatly appreciate it. What would be your preferred... would you like to set up a line of direct communication? Would you like my Discord or something, or Twitter is also good too. You know, I'm not sure what you would prefer. This is gonna be really embarrassing if I'm not following you on Twitter. I'm pretty sure I am. I have to. I'm almost positive I'm following you on Twitter. Hold on. Make sure I'm following Zirene before I sit here all starstruck and then I'm not following him. Okay, I'm following Zirene. We're good. Whew. Okay. DMs are always open. All right, I will do, man. I appreciate that very much. Hit you with the Discord via Twitter. That sounds like a good idea. I like that. I appreciate that immensely, Zirene. Thank you so much, man, for supporting me directly and amateurs in general, because I'm sure this is not the only time you've ever done this, so I appreciate that a lot, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I will thank Shinkari again as well for getting your attention, because that was incredible. So, thanks a lot, man. I will leave you with one last thing, Zirene. If for some reason you ever are out of League streams to watch and you want to watch some Zillion one-trick shenanigans, that's my other specialty. I play a lot of Zillion. So, if you ever want to watch over 1 million points on Zillion. I'm currently Gold 1. So long story short, I was Plat 2, almost Plat 1 last season. And then I took a long hiatus because I recently got back into school and just work and, you know, crazy life nonsense. So I'm just getting back into it. But yeah, we do quite a bit. So, Zillion's your most hated champ. The way I guess. Zillion and if you have Vigar, so Zillion and Vigar are probably two of my most played champions and my two favorite champions. Vigar was my first main ever. My first skin ever was Leprechaun Vigar. Let's go over to the skins here. We will sort by acquisition date. I should know how to sort this by now. Oh, because I have it set to all. Let's go to my collection. Acquisition date. There we go. There we go. Not Rengar. Let's scroll down. Yep. So I got the free Riot Girl Tristana, and then very first skin purchase was Vigar. What's your Twitter? I have a blocking to send out. Yeah, understandable. Oh, also, if you hate puns, I make plenty of clock puns too. So, such as my one get clocked emote. So yeah, if you hate Zillion and you hate clock puns, you're gonna hate me forever. So, Vatos, thank you for the Twitter link, my dude. Appreciate that. But yeah, we have a good time. Myself and he's not online right now, but I have AD carry clocked and loaded. Yeah, buddy, that's a good one. We do some bot lane duo shenanigans. Zillion Kennen bottom lane, Zillion Ashe has been a good one recently. A couple of the recent clips have been pretty insane. I will leave you with if while I have your attention, Zirene. Let me go. Here. Let me this when you kill someone, Zillion puts his ulti on. It's a clock tease. That's a good one. Clock tease is a good one. That's a recent clip right there, just as an example of some of the shenanigans we get up to with that was a kind of an anomaly of a game. I ended up like 14-2 and 21 or something like that as Zillion support. Shouldn't have happened. But that's the beauty of gold right now, I guess. So, but yeah, so I'm slowly trying to climb back up in between school and work and whatnot. But and then I need to put more time into casting as well, so I need to devote some more time to that. But yeah, if you're ever bored and you want to see some Zillion shenanigans, then I'll hit you up when I'm having a bad game, so you can revel vicariously in the Zillion dying, if that helps. Oh man, I ruined it. I get Zirene in my chat, and then I revealed that I main his most hated champion. Ruined it all. Oh man. This is still a little surreal. I keep looking over at this chat like, is that real? Yeah, okay, yeah, this is happening. Sorry. Oh man. Yeah, it was a good moment. It was a good moment. It was a good moment. I have a friend that made a oh god, where's that clip? Hang on. We have a Tyler 1 remix of that if you want. Here, let me give you oh, it's not the same clip, but it's from the same game. Here, I'll leave you with this too. We had some hitbox shenanigans from the same game with Ash Arrow doing some interesting things, and cue Tyler 1 rant in the middle of it, and then some laughter. So we try to keep it entertaining. It's not the best level of play, but it's a good time. I mean, Wazillion is always a good time. You know? Oh my god. But yeah, I'm happy with that clip. It was a good time. It was a really good game. It's a very lucky game, too. Like, very, very lucky. Welcome to the shit show. Yeah. That's my usual... Yeah, my usual plug message is that. That's my usual macro that I plug around. So. Oh, man. Zirene, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, you've spent plenty of time here. I appreciate your time. I'm gonna call it a night as well. And, I go grab something to eat. So, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I will hit you up on Twitter. And say hi to Kaya for me and Vatos. Pleasure meeting you as well, Zirene. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very, very much. Good night, man. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So with that being said,